So even though this week has not been a great week for many people across the world, and my thoughts and prayers are absolutely with those of you in Ukraine and your families, I do have a bit of breaking news for you, and hopefully this will bring you just a moment of joy and a moment of normalcy to your life before going back to the reality that we're unfortunately facing today. As we all know, there's been a lot of activity at Giga Austin as of late. It wasn't that long ago that we started to see not just production cars coming out of the plant, but now we've seen them supercharging, we've seen them going back into the plant, we've seen a truckload of cars shipped out of Giga Austin to a destination unknown. Those cars were all Model Y performances. Now, just recently we did see a bunch of cars, both inside and out, that appeared to likely be long-range version Model Ys. So it's still unclear what all variants are going to ship out of Giga Austin, but the latest pictures that we saw just this week would suggest that there's a ton of long-range Model Ys that are sitting at Giga Austin ready for shipment. Just outside the plant, there is a big concrete pad with a number of Model Ys sitting there, presumably to be shipped out. Now, these could be being held for a media event or some other event at the plant, because what's interesting about these ones is they're covered with car covers. Now, why they're covered with car covers is completely unknown. One reason could be just as simple as it's a construction site and keeping those cars protected so they don't get completely covered in construction dust, or it could be because they're trying to keep those cars fresh for some sort of event coming soon. But before we get into all the details, I want to make a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, my friends at Drive Protected Shop. Drive Protected Shop offers pre-cut PPF kits with a 10-year warranty. So regardless of what Tesla you're getting, all of you will qualify for 20% off using code BTG. Now, prices are listed in Canadian dollars. You're going to need to take about 20% off to convert that into US dollars, and then take another 20% off by using code BTG. Now, code BTG will qualify for all Teslas, whether it's a Model S, Model X, Model 3, or Model Y. You can get protected with Drive Protected Shop. So thanks again to my friends at Drive Protected Shop for sponsoring this video. Now, we did hear GigaFest is supposedly going to happen on April 7th, which is kind of exciting. It'll be the official launch of the factory. Just in the last earnings call, Elon Musk did state that not only was progress happening at great pace at Giga Austin, but they were planning to start shipping customer orders of Giga Austin made Model Ys here in this quarter. So here we are now at the end of February, and the quarter will end here next month. But there's been a lot of signs pointing that these deliveries are definitely imminent. Just this week, we learned that all the certifications required to ship Model Ys to customer orders have been completed, except for one. The EPA certification is that last certification that Tesla needs to start deliveries of the Texas-made Model Y. Giga Austin Model Y will of course come with the 4680 cells, and although we still don't have any clear direction on what exactly all is going to encompass with that new battery pack, at least from a size perspective, and what that means from range, we still know that there will be vast improvements. So even if they reduce the battery pack and keep range the same as the 2170 cells that have been in these cars since the beginning of production, you're still going to have a number of benefits with these new cells. Number one, it's going to perform way better in various conditions outside. So colder temperatures, it's going to perform better. Hotter temperatures, it's going to perform better. Probably the biggest benefit you would see, assuming the pack is reduced to keep range the same as what we're getting today, is you're going to have faster charging. These new battery cells are going to be able to take a faster load of current at a much longer period of time than the 2170 cells. So that means you can charge at a faster rate than what we do today for a longer period of time. So your overall supercharging speed is going to be much quicker. So if you go on road trips often like we do here, those battery cells are going to be very valuable for you to have in your car. One of the other major benefits that doesn't really get talked about a lot is because of the composition of these batteries and the chemistry inside of them, we're going to start reducing our use of some precious metals that are really not sustainable. So these batteries are the next generation. They're going to be better for the environment. They're going to last longer. They're going to have more range. There's so many benefits of having these new battery cells, and that's why this is so amazing. Of course, there's pipeline of product that also needs these battery cells to be able to be produced, whether it's the Semi, the Roadster, of course the Cybertruck, and then ultimately these cells will be rolled out to all Tesla platforms. Now the chemistry inside of them will vary depending on which car it is, but ultimately these cells are a game changer for Tesla. Now what's most important though is once we start seeing customer deliveries of the Giga Austin Model Y, that's when we know we have production levels that are going to be at a good pace. Now we've been seeing a number of cars coming off the production line and parked outside of Giga Austin, and those cars seem to be continuing to come in larger and larger volumes. So the production ramp is definitely underway at Giga Austin, and they should be at a point here really soon, I would assume, that they're going to start shipping at some limited capacity. Now, how long it takes Tesla to ramp up that capacity to fulfill all orders out of Giga Austin is unknown, and even if they're planning to do that, I think that reasonably there's going to have to be some sort of a change. Whether it's only the performance Model Ys are made out of Giga Austin, or there's a new sub-model of Model Ys made out of Giga Austin, or there's also the chance that Fremont will also be making Model Ys with these new 4680 cells. Don't forget Cato Road. It's just down the street from the Fremont factory, and that is where they piloted and developed and kicked off launch of these new 4680 cells. Now we just saw this week they produced their 1 millionth battery cell out of Cato Road, which is really exciting. But although those cells are likely being shipped to supplement Giga Austin, they could absolutely have those also supplying Fremont. So as the battery production line in Giga Austin continues to ramp up and become self-sufficient, Cato Road will need to be used for something, and presumably it could be used to supply Fremont with 4680 cells. And now for the biggest news of this week. Just today, we got our first confirmed VIN assigned to a customer with a Giga Austin made VIN. So here are the specs from what I can tell. It is a performance Model Y with white exterior and white interior. Great choice on the interior, by the way. In addition, it appears that this order is in Denver, Colorado. So as we're trying to determine eastern half versus western half, as per discussion about where Model Ys from Giga Austin would be shipped to, at least Denver, Colorado meets that threshold. And although we still don't officially see a certification from the EPA, either Tesla is confident enough that that certification is imminent, or it has been granted and just has not been published yet. So this is fantastic news. That means all the hurdles in the way of officially delivering Giga Austin Model Ys are now out of the way. So congratulations to Jared on the Tesla Model Y Facebook page on your Austin build Model Y. You are officially the first person I know of that has absolutely been assigned a VIN made out of Giga Austin. So this is extremely exciting, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a Giga Austin made Model Y just to find out more details on that battery. So that's the roundup for you. We'll keep an eye out for additional VINs to start rolling out to customers. If there's one, that means there are multiple. So these should start to roll out more and more in the coming weeks as more customers get assigned a VIN where the 11th digit is an A instead of an F. So make sure to keep an eye on your order if you are waiting on your order to be assigned a VIN, because you too could get a Giga Austin made Model Y here very soon. I think we're going to start to get a picture also in the coming weeks of who is going to be getting these Giga Austin Model Ys. Is it performance customers? Is it just eastern half customers? And what's the difference between this car and the Fremont car? So in the next couple of weeks, I really believe that these questions will be answered, but for now, we officially have VINs being assigned to customers out of Giga Austin. So before I sign off, again, I want to send out my thoughts and prayers to those of you in Ukraine and your families. I am thinking about you, and I am absolutely heartbroken about what is going on over there. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bearded Tesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.